Hey guys, I've got another update on Jace and how he's doing. In fact, how he turned up at the hospital after running away from David and Jenelle's house through his bedroom window Thursday night at around 8 p.m. I do want to warn you that the details of this are rather upsetting, but I do think that things like this do deserve to be exposed in the light, right? I don't think that people who allegedly do this sort of thing deserve anonymity. So I am glad that the information is out there so that people know exactly what has been going on in that house of horrors. And I hope that people finally stop blaming Jace for his actions, because again, he never really stood a chance when he had Jenelle Evans for a birth mom. Okay. Now, just keep in mind that everything I'm saying is alleged, right? These are coming from the U.S. Sun and their sources. So it's just alleged for the time being, but this is what they are reporting about Jace and the state in which he was found at the hospital. So an inside source told the publication that there were doctors, a therapist, a sheriff from North Carolina's Columbus County, and a child protective services worker with Jace in the hospital. And obviously he was in the hospital, I think, because of his claims that he was physically attacked by David Eason, who was Jenelle Evans's husband. So the source is saying that they took his allegations very seriously. And I can't tell you enough how much that warmed my heart, because I want nothing more than that for him, right? The chance at potentially escaping the swamp of horrors. And they also said something, and again, I told you guys at the top of this video it was going to be rather upsetting, but Jace allegedly had marks on his arms and neck when they were observing his body. And to me, just the image of what potentially could have led to him having these sorts of marks on his body, just like a tiny, thin 14-year-old boy versus a gigantic, violent, vicious, evil monster of a man, right? Like, how tall is David Eason? Isn't he known to be like exceptionally tall? Not like 6'1" or 6'2". Like, isn't he like 6'3" and above? Like, I heard he was really, really, really tall, and we already know that he's rather large or bulbous these days. So just the idea that he could have potentially put his hands around Jace's neck or really grabbed him tightly by the arms is just terrifying. I think the neck is the most scary thing. Like, I really, truly hope that it's not what I think it is. I'm imagining that there was potentially some strangulation there. And I really, really hope that that is not the case, but that is what a source is saying. He had marks. Lord, guys, this is just really, really hard to imagine. So they're also saying that thankfully there were witnesses to this alleged incident, because it took place outside of another person's home, and there was a ring camera to capture the incident as well. And apparently all of this has been documented by CPS. And I'm so glad that there were witnesses to this alleged incident. And I'm so glad that there was a ring camera there to potentially capture all of it going down, because I feel like when you have that sort of proof, there is no denying it at this point, right? And we already know that Jace's birth mother, Jenelle Evans, has no problem throwing him under the bus and lying in order to protect anybody that she needs to protect, whether that's herself or whether that is her disgraced, useless, animal-killing husband, right? So thank God on Jace's behalf that those things were potentially there to capture and document all that went down. Jenelle has already acknowledged that CPS is indeed investigating her, which, you know, is great to hear. I believe obviously David would be under investigation as well. And if what the Sun is reporting is indeed true, don't be surprised if the police could potentially issue charges, because this is a very, 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 very serious allegation. And if there's video evidence to back it up, and David Eason already has a history of violence and whatnot. Remember, outside of animal killing and whatnot, this man likes to show off all of his weaponry. He has threatened the United States government as well. Remember when Secret Services paid him a visit? Like, he's got a long history of being truly, deeply unhinged and psychotic. So I really think that this could be the thing, like the straw that breaks the camel back, the thing that really truly like does him in. So just keep your fingers crossed. Again, just rejoice in the fact that all this is allegedly being taken very, very seriously. Jace is being kept away from them. In the interview with In Touch, Jenelle confirmed that Jace has been at the hospital since being found and whatnot. And one thing that's really interesting to me about that is the fact that his alleged mother is not at the hospital with him. Only his real mother has been seen at the hospital with him, and his real mother obviously being Barbara Evans. So why is it that Barbara can go to the hospital and see Jace, but Jenelle has not been able to? Right? She's his custodial mother right now. She's got custody. This is her son, supposedly. So why hasn't she been at the hospital? I personally think that there has been some kind of warning issued to her and David to stay away from this child until all is said and done. And I just love the sound of that, because to me, that indicates that some serious consequences could be coming for the two of them for the way that they have allegedly treated this child. And I forgot to mention earlier in the video, but it's also being said that Jenelle witnessed the alleged attack take place. So for her to have been there to witness her child allegedly be attacked or assaulted by her husband in the neck area, in the arms, and have done nothing at all, that has some very, very serious consequences for her that I really hope are passed down if all of this indeed comes to pass and indeed gets verified at the end of the day. Wow, God help her, because that's going to be very serious. And not only that, I wonder, you guys, if you're in the legal world, let me know, will it be taken into account that the last time they lost custody of all their children, Jenelle was given the option to keep all of her children together to minimize the impact of the CPS investigation and the trauma and everything. But instead, she chose to stay with useless animal killing David Eason instead of these children. So when you think about that, and then now the fact that allegedly David got violent with Jace in front of her and she did nothing about it, I think it shows a pattern of her just not being willing to protect her children or to care for her children properly. And we all know that that obviously has some very serious ramifications. You can't just stand by while people allegedly harm your children. I think that perhaps she might lose custody of Jace again. I really do this time. But you guys, I can't speculate too much. I'm only going off of the information that has been released so far. And, as usual, I will be continuing to update you guys as new information is being made available. So if you haven't already, do make sure to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any updates. That's all for now. Keep Jace in your hearts, in your thoughts, and in your prayers. And let's hope that he gets the justice that he deserves. Thank you guys so much for watching, you guys. Take care. Bye.